What is happening, everybody? John Denson here with another reaction, another album reaction in fact, and this one's going to be an interesting one because I'm going to go a little bit old school with my own YouTube style and bring back the Metalhead reaction, because Trippie Redd, an artist that quite honestly I'm not really a fan of, but he has put out his rock slash grunge slash metal album in collaboration with Travis Barker. So I'm going to go in and put my Metalhead hat on. Well, this is actually a Man United hat, but regardless. And also go in with a completely open mind. I've always thought Trippie Redd was an artist that should be working with guitars and drums and bass rather than these generic trap beats. So that's it. It's going to be the Metalhead reaction to Trippie Redd's Neon Shark. Let's do this. Alright guys, before we jump into the video, I wanted to have a quick mention of the sponsor for this video. It's Soundcore and the Liberty Air 2 Pro True wireless headphones. Okay, but before we go into the product, and it's a high quality product, I want to talk about Soundcore themselves. Soundcore supporting musicians and the creative industry through COVID-19 recovery. They partnered with MusicCares, which is a charity for struggling musicians established by the Recording Academy to provide support for musicians facing financial, mental or other health issues, which I think we can all agree is a massive deal right now. On top of that, Soundcore has integrated Loom into its own app and online community. Now, Loom is a music streaming service dedicated to emerging musicians, so you can go on and find new and upcoming talent. So that's integrated into their app. Onto the product themselves, guys. I've been using these for the last week or so. High quality wireless earbuds. You've got excellent sound quality for music or podcasts. 3 different active noise cancellation modes. There's an outdoor mode, there's transport mode, which is great if we can ever get on planes again, and an indoor mode as well. And you go into the app, there's all sorts of customizable EQ. Even the action of the case is fantastic if you like that sort of thing. I do love that sort of thing. So click the link down in the description to find out more about Soundcore and find out more about Liberty Air 2 Pro. And on top of that, I'm really excited to be working with Soundcore to give away a pair of the Liberty Air 2 Pro true wireless headphones to you guys. All you need to do is make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below just saying Liberty Air 2 Pro. That's all you need to write in the comment. You can write whatever else you want to write in the comment, but just make sure that's in there, and I will draw one winner at random to get a pair of these amazing wireless earbuds. Right, shout out once again to Soundcore. Let's jump into the reaction.
Even when I'm not around, said I'll fill you up with love when you feel down.
Okay, I mean, this isn't what I was expecting so far, but you know, open mind, open mind.
Happened, put you in the past, but the pain is everlasting. We just split as any, everything was moving fast, but now it's kinda slow. Sit you in this drop, girl, we gotta go.
Okay, right, well, we're a minute into this song and it is fucking awful so far, so that doesn't bode well, but it can't all be like this, surely. Surely to God, Chino Moreno from Deftones is not going to be on a song that sounds like this, please.
I'm hurting, this is not enough. I ate a Percocet for lunch. Dark circles under my eyes.
It's got a little bit better. I think MGK's done alright on this track, but I didn't like that first verse at all, and I don't like the generic trap beat that's going on. Let's get rid of those fucking beats, man. Of course, if you want to see this in uncut form, link down in the description to the Patreon. The entire support structure for the channel, all the album reactions go uncut there, plus extra album reactions every single month decided by the patrons. Okay, that's better. There's something going on at the beginning there that I was quite enjoying. The riff was solid, it was building an atmosphere, and Travis's drum pattern was really good. Trippie Redd's voice is way too loud in the mix here, and the effects that are going on make him, you can't understand what he's saying really, which is fine, that could be an effect, but it was dominating the rest of the track. Now we moved into slightly more typical chorus, and yeah, it's not really working for me, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, the vocals are fucking awful, unfortunately. The rest of it was fine, generic, kind of shoegazy, a little bit emo in there, but it was fine, it sounded quite good. But yeah, his vocals were just way too loud. It needed to be softer in the mix to create that kind of shoegazy, almost like dirgy sound. I mean, I'm not going to compare it to Deftones, but Chino is on this in a few tracks' time. Maybe that's this kind of sound he's going for. It's a little bit too fast for that, but keep it going. There's something there. There's some potential there. I don't know who's playing the rest of the instruments. Obviously, Travis on drums.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming away. Just keep swimming. Oh, another bloody try, let the pain go. I ain't worried about where I can't go. Mama gonna run like a volcano. If I keep overthinking these things. If I keep overthinking. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming away.
Kind of liking the math rock elements of the instrumentation on this one. I mean, his voice just isn't really working for me on this, but the more you pull it back and the more you bring up the instrumentation, it's kind of creating an interesting sound. It's reminding me of bands from, it's about 15 years ago now, which is kind of interesting in many ways. I haven't really heard music like this in a while. It's bringing back memories of being in my early 20s, which ain't a bad thing.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming away.
But that was the best of the three by some distance. Some distance. Okay, let's keep going.
She's such a freaky girl. She puts me in the craziest moods. In the craziest mood. Freaky girl. Freaky girl. What am I handling you? My handling you. You've been dealing with leeches.
Kind of like a 80s style element to the instrumentation on this one, and then just it does not match with either the lyrical content or the vocal delivery whatsoever. A real like clash of styles, and these lyrics are fucking dreadful, in all honesty. It's putting me in a weird place mentally, this record.
Freaky girl. Freaky girl. What am I handling you? My handling you. You're so emotionless.
You're so emotionless, freaky girl. You show no emotion. Somebody called Lupe Fiasco. We've got a new lyricist in town.
Give me love, and we fuck, can we fuck? Yeah.
That was a fucking awful song. I just tweeted Female Shark by Trippie Redd is a 0 out of 10. Awful. Awful song. Come on, Chino Moreno. Let's do something here. There's still something here that I don't think he has potential. I mean, he's not really done this type of music before, but I think he needs 5 years of making this type of music before it's going to sound right. And he's brought in high-level partners. I don't know who's playing the rest of the instruments, but like I say, you've got one of the best drummers in the world, especially around this type of music.
Latch on to me, because time is running out. Tell me the things that you wanna do. Show me the place.
Why is he so fucking loud? Chino perfectly nicely in the mix, the song sounding like a Deftones song. Why is he twice as loud as Chino? Just quieten down a bit. You've been crazy lately, baby. I like it. You're one of a kind, yeah. I mean, I like this because it sounds like a Deftones song with just somebody just knocking at the window, let me in. Listen to the difference in lyrics. These aren't incredible lyrics from Chino Moreno, don't get me wrong. The intro, latch onto me because time is running out. You are now aware, you are now awake. Not mind-blowing. Don't get me wrong. We're not writing that down and holding that up in a fucking lecture about lyricism in metal or shoegaze music. Don't get me wrong. But there is some poetry there. There's some symbolism there. There is some romanticism there. There's something there. Trippie Redd, tell me the things that you want to do. Show me the places you want to go. I'll take you there. You have my heart, baby, so play fair. I mean, for fuck's sake, how are you 8? That thing he does with his voice is awful. I will give Trippie Redd a lot of credit because he's basically made a Deftones song and he's done a decent job on it, to be fair, lyrics notwithstanding. They don't massively matter, I'm just being critical. And he's made people who listen to Trippie Redd's music, kids basically, hear Deftones. Effectively, that was a Deftones song. I mean, this whole song's quieter than any of the other songs, which is weird on its own. But he is actually quieter in the mix in this song, and it's working because it means that it's just fitting in with everything rather than him just absolutely dominating the track with that fucking voice. It's not an amazing song, don't get me wrong, but it's a little more palatable than some of the others.
I know you won't leave me hanging. I know you won't leave me waiting. I know you won't leave me hanging. For my head again.
Yeah, that was actually a solid track. Not amazing by any stretch of the imagination. Fairly generic in terms of the genre that it's in, but it did a decent enough job. But I know almost for a fact now there's going to be nothing that truly surprises me and sounds outstanding. But I do like the way he's sort of exploring different elements of rock music.
And this time will be the last time I'm coming for you. Come for you. Born to terrorize your
I think this is the style of sort of heavy music and rock music that suits him best. Again, kind of like a Deftones by Numbers style, sort of shoegazy, kind of like dirgy, emotional. Try and pigeonhole it into some sort of genre. Deftonesy will do. They've been around for long enough, 25 plus years. Just tone it down in that voice. Tone it down. That thing that he does when he's like, yeah. I mean, does anybody like that sound ever? Anyone?
You need it all. Hope you love your desire. I'm coming for you. Yeah, things can't be real. Like running from my demons, get away from me. I promise that I'll fight to the end. And I'm fucking used to trying to save me. I'll keep yours safe, save yours. I promise that I'll fight to the end. And I'm fucking used to trying to save me. I promise that I'll fight to the end. Save yourself, save yourself.
Inoffensive track. That was perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. It's not an awful album. The instrumentation is good. Some of the songs are bad, but I don't want to go in thinking this is an absolute disaster. It's not. I'm more now taking the approach of if he wants to explore this more, there's work to be done, but there are little pockets, little moments here and there where you go, okay, well this could kind of work. You definitely need to up the lyricism. There's no excuse to be writing lyrics that shit. Not great, not good, not a disaster. Apart from Female Shark, which I never want to hear again. Fucking dreadful song.
You want him to do you so much you could do anything?
I keep tripping away, I can't be home. I keep drifting low, waiting for you. What were you waiting for? Waiting for? What were you? I spent most of my days, yeah, waiting. Waiting for you. What were you?
I like that song. It's kind of like a leaned out sort of pop punk, post-pop punk type of thing. I mean, the drum pattern was very simple. Travis Barker not involved in that one, and you can hear that straight away. But it's alright. It's kind of just washing over me now, this record, I think. It's a bit long. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I actually quite like that track. Really, really stripped back in terms of his vocals. Wasn't overpowering. Very, very minimal lyrically, which I think is a good thing when we're talking Trippie Redd. Travis going nuts on the drums. Good atmosphere to it. Well produced. Listen, there's a couple of moments on here where you go, okay.
Back in school, we were the leaders.
Alright, a Deftones cover. Different name, but still. Listen, man, if you're a Deftones fan, Trippie Redd, and I think you are by having Chino on here and then covering one of their songs, this song's called Back to School, from White Pony, one of my favourite albums of all time. Listen, you're going to get points with me. Don't murder it. Let's go. Okay, so it's just the chorus that's the cover, and it's his own song. Alright.
Sometimes I think about keeping my head up. Sometimes I just can't breathe.
Quite an elegant little song in the end there. Like I said, it wasn't a cover in the end. It was just a cover of the hook of the main chorus of that song. But this has got better as it goes on. So from Red Sky onwards, it's not actually awful. It isn't awful. There are moments here, and listen, I'm always espousing learning in public. I learn in public on this channel. Travis Barker really going full Abe Cunningham on the drums, the drummer from Deftones obviously, and the Deftones influence throughout this record is pronounced and definitely the lane that I think that Trippie Redd should be moving into. I was going to say if he continues this, just overall, overall, because the trap stuff was just annoying to me. I'm sure he's not going to move away from that entirely, but if that's the music, if this is the music that's speaking to him, please try more. Listen, I'm not one to say that people shouldn't be moving out of their lane. I am one that say don't write terrible lyrics and overpower the instrumentation with a voice that's twice as loud as everything in the mix. Woo! That boy can fucking drum. Jesus. One to go. Scarlord and Zillakami on this one, so I'm expecting some screaming.
Drop dead, drop dead, drop dead. Just like a demon, yeah, I'm a psychopathic. Bring on the bang, I'm screaming. Watch you be down on the busy, yeah. Drop dead. Hit the floor.
Hook is fucking awful, but I really like the energy on the verse. Is that Zillakami? I can't tell. This is Zillakami, right? And before it was Scarlord. I like Scarlord's energy.
Inside your home, while you alone, wait till you drop dead. Inside your home, full metal chrome, wait till you.
Like I like Zillakami, like there was actually some quite slick bars in there as well. What does he sound like with a proper riff? Just put him with a band. I don't really like these trap metal beats. They were exciting for about 5 minutes for me because they sounded new. But now they're just like, okay, but these aren't as good as somebody switching time signatures or doing heavy breakdowns or live drums like we heard in that previous track. Maybe, there might be live drums on this, but it doesn't sound like it. It's just not as good, as far as I'm concerned, if you're making heavy music. And it may make a mosh pit bounce if that fucking 808 is that loud in a live setting. But I don't think it scales down very well to just a normal listening experience. Early on, by the time we got to Female Shark, I thought this was going to be another one where I have to title it is bad, is awful or whatever, like I did with that last 6ix9ine record. But no, it's not. It isn't at all. And while I don't think Trippie Redd really has it in his locker to necessarily become an artist in this lane, but at the same time, if he dedicates himself to it, if he's going to sit there and work with this type of music for a number of years, I think he has a potential to make something quite good. At the moment, he's sort of bouncing around different styles of rock and metal and then settling, which I think is probably his lane in this Deftones style. Now, is he really going to change the game by making songs that are worse than Deftones songs in a Deftones style? No, but at the same time, Deftones are one of the most innovative and brilliant sort of heavy bands of all time, and I like the fact they're not impenetrable by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not an easy, obvious listen. So yeah, if you want to see this in uncut form, that's there on the Patreon link down in the description. Let me know your thoughts on the record. Let me know your thoughts on my reaction as the metalhead. And guys, that's it. I don't know if I'm a Trippie Redd fan, but that album did get a lot better as it went on. I will catch you on the next one. Peace!